Precautions are good, but we have to be okay with failure or injury. When injury happens, we deal with it. When injury or failure comes, do you find yourself playing not to lose, or are you playing to win? Hey winner, I'm Gabe Cox of Red Hot Mindset, and I am glad you're here. My mission is to help you overcome your mental barriers in the race of life, and I post new videos every Wednesday about success mindset, dreaming huge, and crushing goals. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you're already a part of the community, welcome back. I value and appreciate each of you. When I slipped on ice 10 months ago, I had no idea that was the day I would encounter a major injury and my life would permanently change. I had no plans for that on my goals list, and it struck me hard. It was supposed to be just a fun, leisurely run with one of my best running friends. The days leading up to it were rather warm for December, so we soaked up all the warmth on our runs. But what we didn't know was that it had indeed got cold enough the night before to freeze, and the puddles that were on the trails pooled and iced over. The light snowfall covered that, so we couldn't see it beneath our feet. But what if I hadn't run that morning? What if I had lived on the defense and never took risks because I was afraid of injury or failure? I may have had an intact ankle and not had to endure a year of pain and recovery, but I also wouldn't have experienced the learning curve or the lessons that have been major players in my life. We can live on the defense and try our hardest to prevent injury, but it just can't always be avoided. Living on the defense is no way to live. That's where paranoia and fear present themselves. And unfortunately, even though the defense is equally important, we can never win a game if all we play is defense, because offense is what scores the points. We will win the offense when we are willing to take risks, take action, and go after whatever it is we are striving for. When we are on offense, this means the other team is naturally on defense and has to react to our actions rather than performing their own plays. The same is true when we live on the defense. If we choose to live defensively, we don't know the plays that are coming. Circumstances will hit, and we won't be prepared for them. When on offense, we can formulate plays or strategic planning to get through the barriers that come. Does that mean we will know exactly what to do at any given moment? Well, no, but it does mean that we are better prepared to deal with whatever circumstances may come our way. So let me tell you a little story that you may remember, at least if you're Minnesotan. It was 1998, during the NFC Championship game starring the Atlanta Falcons versus the Minnesota Vikings. I remember it so clearly. I was in 8th grade, and I was completely convinced that we were Super Bowl bound. This was the day that the Vikings broke my heart. Okay, not really, but you know what I mean. If you were there, if you watched the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This infamous game was tied 27-27 near the end of the fourth quarter with 30 seconds remaining. The Vikings were facing a 3rd and 3 at their 27-yard line. Coach Denny Green made the decision to have quarterback Randall Cunningham take a knee, run the clock, and force the game into overtime. Do you remember that? Well, whether this was a good or bad decision, it really doesn't matter. Sometimes the coach sees things that we may not, and I'm sure he had his reasons for making the call he did. However, the facts are the facts, and the Vikings still lost in overtime 30-27. They chose to play defensively in the fourth quarter and not proactively, and they lost. So, when injury strikes, what's your mindset? Naturally, our tendency is to get down on ourselves and feel like a failure because of the raw disappointment injury brings. I know that happened to me. It's easy to spiral down into a mini form of depression when we can no longer do everything that we were once able to do. We question, why me? Or like I did, question, well, what if I had only chosen to run inside that day? Building up our positive mentality is important in our training, but it may even be more important when injuries come. A nagging pain or a full-blown injury can create the same negative impact if we don't know how to control our emotions or mentality in those times. Precautions are good, but we have to be okay with failure or injury. When injury happens, we deal with it. When injury or failure comes, do you find yourself playing not to lose, or are you playing to win? Did you know that those are two different things? If you're playing not to lose, you're going to be cautious in every play, and you will be less likely to risk more to gain more. You will hold yourself back rather than doing what you need to do to win. Rather than being on the offense, you will wait to react. Trying not to lose is a reactionary response. You will react based on what is brought your way. It's also about prevention of injury and prevention of failure. You will do everything in your power to prevent yourself from losing. But this mentality, in turn, could actually prevent you from winning. Now, if you're playing to win, you're willing to take chances on risky plays, and you'll have to make tough calls that you may not want to. You play aggressively rather than reactively, and you work to put points on the scoreboard. Playing to win is authoritative and brings with it empowerment. You have the belief inside of you knowing you can do it. This mindset is intentional, and in it, you create ways to move forward because you're proactive in all you do. Today's quote is anonymous, but it says, "Strength shows not only in the ability to persist, but in the ability to start over." Yes, that injury halted my life and changed many of my habits and also dictated what I could or couldn't do. It still is, but I would say it's worth the risk. Now, I don't purposely put myself in situations where I know injury is inevitable. But if I were to take myself out of any and all situations that could bring injury or failure, then my life would be uninspiring and unfulfilling. I'd miss out on the little things, the learning and growing moments, and the beauty in life. And so would you. Living on the defense is no place for your dreams. Grow your positive mindset and get mentally tough. Choose to live offensively and take risks, even if they lead to failure or injury, because you can learn through them. Are you playing not to lose, or are you playing to win? How can you take an obstacle and turn it into an opportunity today? If you like today's mindset, give it a thumbs up, which is your best compliment. Don't forget to light up that subscribe button and share this video with others. Next week, I'll be sharing some of my favorite gift ideas for runners, so make sure to hit the bell so you don't miss it. Dream huge, and remember, you are a winner. Just run your race.